Hey, this is Wesley, and this is my post about going to Minnesota for 10 days, which was really, really neat, and hanging out with my friend in Carleton College in Northfield, Minnesota. So that's what this post is going to be about. On February 11th, Thursday, I set off on my trip to Northfield, and I now left Lindsborg and headed up to Manhattan, which is where K-State is. I'm sure I've mentioned this before. Um, to see some friends. That was a lot. That was really neat. Then I continued on my way up to Des Moines, and as I was leaving Kansas, I was going through the Flint Hills because that's the Flint Hills area, and caught the sunset on the hills. Super neat, super beautiful. Then continued into Missouri, where it was dark and boring, and I was just ready to not be driving anymore. As I got closer to Des Moines, it started to snow, and I was kind of concerned about that. But then I was like, you know what? There's snow and we'll be okay. So I was fine. Spent the night in front of a hospital in Des Moines. Uh, I figured like I need some water. I go inside. They're like, "Here's a cup of water." Or I'm like, "Hey, can I use the bathroom?" They're like, "Yeah, it's the door on the left." Or I like walk inside. I'm like, "Hey, I was sleeping in my car. I got stabbed." They'll be like, "We do that here. We'll take care of you." So I got up next day, traveled, went over to the state parks in Iowa, Big Creek and Ledges, and I have an entire post about that. So if you want to check out that post, I'll put a link down there, or like over there, or like somewhere, or I'll just yeah, you'll find it. Don't worry. Then I drove up to Clear Lake. I was like, hey, this sounds like a cool place. I'll go check it out. I bet they have a lot of attractions. Nope, literally just the lake. But it was frozen, so there wasn't really anything going on. I called John. I was like, "Hey, John, the lake's frozen, super boring. Can I come up now?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. We'll host you." So I drove up there. Met some really cool people from both John's floor and from his welcome week new student group, I guess. Uh, they were real neat. Everybody kind of cycled through their guest passes. Everyone but John, he didn't have any guest passes, which was actually kind of unfortunate. But yeah, we cycled through, figured out ways to feed me, which was good. Everyone kind of worked together. It was like Project Feed Wesley. There were several times where John just kind of like grabbed some food and walked out and was like, "Hey Wesley, I got you a banana or two bananas and a bagel and like a cookie," and then I'd be like, "Thanks, John." They just kept feeding me and housing me and giving me somewhere to stay, which was super neat of everybody. So while I was there, I went to a couple of things. I went to Distract, which was a really cool drama show. It was really really interesting. Um, but one of the people on one of the girls on John's floor was in it, so his whole floor kind of went and watched it, and I was just kind of tagging along. It was really really good. Went to EDB, which was their experimental dance board, which was really cool. It was like student uh, choreographed dances, and it was just kind of whatever you wanted to do is what you did with it, and it was super super neat. So yeah, I just kind of hung out. I got to know everybody, met his RAs, met the other people on the floor that I hadn't met yet. It was really super cool. Everybody was super open. I mean, coming from a college in Kansas, I mean K State, super conservative if you don't know. Not like hardcore, but like reasonably conservative. I mean, it's a liberal arts college. It was really, really open. Everyone was super cool, really accepting. They're like, "Hey, that's the way you see it. I accept you," and it was nice. It was genuinely nice. So Wednesday, I headed up to the Twin Cities. I went to see. I mean, Northfield was maybe an hour away, maybe like max an hour away. Went up and saw Minneapolis. Went and saw St. Paul. Super neat. Found parking in Minneapolis, which was nice. Then kind of walked around for a little while. Got to look at the giant buildings. That was fun. The skyline that they show from Minneapolis. Got to see it. I got to walk under it, I guess. Stayed the night in a hostel at Minneapolis International Hostel. Actually wasn't bad. Everyone's like, "Hey Wesley, that's sketchy." I was like, "I don't know about that." So I went and checked it out. Stayed the night there. Was nice. Was actually really really nice. Uh, Steve, the guy that was running the house, the desk, something. He was super super kind. So Took off, headed out for St. Paul. Was gonna go check out the science museum, and I couldn't because there was a tour with a bunch of school kids, and that kind of took priority, I guess. So, drove back to Northfield on Thursday. I got in there about noon. Got to see everybody, got to talk to everybody, and just kind of hung out. It was nice. I played some broom ball, which is similar to hockey, but without the ice skates. And instead of a hockey stick, you have this thing. It's kind of shaped like a broom, like the head was like shaped like that. And so John's floor, they needed another person. They didn't need another person. I don't know. I was there and I played for their floor in this big broom ball into the season tournament, I guess. And the first night we showed up, and then our opponents didn't show up, so that was a plus. So we were 1-0, and then we went into the second round, and we played against these arguably the best team that was in the tournament. They were the soccer team for the college, and there were like 20 of them, and they were all really, really good, and their coordination was like spot on. And they knew how to hit the ball with the broomstick thing. But we had Tashi, who was really, really good also, until he left to go play for his team that was in the other match, the other rink. And then we kind of depended on each other, and we got more confident, and it was really, really nice. We scored. We scored once. I mean, we lost big time, but we scored once. We got the ball over to Aki, and she just kind of, boom, just hit it in. Didn't fall, didn't break anything, but there was a girl who fell. That wasn't good. I went to a birthday party for the only other girl, or the only girl on campus from Kansas, I think. From Lawrence. It was cool. She had a birthday party, and I showed up. So on Monday I left, came home. I was like, well, everybody, I'm sorry, I gotta leave, and kind of say goodbye to everybody. Left a big note on their refrigerator out in their lobby, which is something they did. I mean, I wasn't like doing something real crazy. It was something that had like happened before. It was nice. I wrote that I really enjoyed being around everybody, and I really, really did. Started heading back to Kansas. Got to Des Moines. I was like, do I want to stop? No. Drove the entire day until I got down to Manhattan again, and ended up staying the night there, and just kind of chilling out and hanging out with everybody and talking and just catching up, talking about my trip to Minnesota, this exact trip. Then the next day, I gathered all my stuff up, drove back to Lynchburg, and now I've been here for about a week. Overall, it was a really good trip. I'm sure I forgot to talk about stuff, so I'm just going to mention it down there. Yeah, this has been WitWiWes, my blog thing. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for watching, actually. And, yeah, thank you.